I'm your brother, oh God. In the Black Hip Hop News, this story comes by way of Hip Hop DX. This is Meek Mill urges um, Black Lives Matter to address gun violence in Chicago. Now, this should definitely be a longer video than this, but I'll try to pull as much as I can in this video. So you know, and Meek Mill posted this little girl who got killed obviously over last weekend in Chicago. He wrote, "I think it's about time for Black Lives Matter to focus on Chicago. It's a lot of kids out here dying, and we putting all our focus on cops. R.I.P. baby girl, one of the three little kids killed this week." CNN not covering this news. So we can read the story here. Meek Mill has made the most of his return to Instagram, using social media network for more than a showroom and a platform to stunt. A recent rash of shooting in Chicago inspired the Philadelphia rapper to post an image of a young girl who was murdered and called on Black Lives Matter movement to turn their focus to gun violence. Mill, who has often rapped about using guns on his songs and who has also spoken openly about how he wants to stop, shifted his typical bravado and used his platform to mention the death of 11-year-old Takia Holmes, who was hit by a stray bullet in Chicago and succumbed to her wounds and injuries on February 14, which is Valentine's Day. Meek wrote, "I think it's time for Black Lives Matter to focus on Chicago. It's a lot of kids dying out there, and we put all of our focus on cops. Rest in peace, baby girl, one of the three kids killed." If we let's deal with this systemic, problem. One thing, we look at the youth in Chicago. One thing that can solve the problem. Just real quick solutions would be that there was a stat that was released about a year ago that said about 90% of the youth in Chicago were unemployed. When you have a child or a teenager or even an adult that's unemployed and can't find employment in the city that they live in for whatever reason, maybe they made a mistake or two in life, they got a felony or whatever reason may be, it makes it, it turns them to basically doing illegal things, whatever it may be, to earn a living. With those illegal things come, the underworld, guns, drugs, and Chicago is just a bigger microcosm of the problem in America and any other city. Lack of economic opportunity. It's not even race specific. When you look at the Italians, the Irish, and the Jews, they had the same problem in the early 20s and the 30s. Not having right employment. So they kind of just, the only choice they had was to kind of sell drugs, and they were destroying, killing, raping their own people. So this comes, is right around the same. It's the same thing at the end of the day. So if you want to solve the problem, one will be employment opportunities to the young brothers and sisters in that city. Male role models. People. Because when you see a little girl like this get killed, it's just you know, we will look at and the person who shot the gun and say, "Why are they shooting, little kids?" And we understand, what I mean. But it all goes back to economic castration. Economic castration. When you're in the underworld and you're dealing drugs, that whole life, there's a whole bunch of things that come with it. Drugs, guns. You gotta ask yourself, where are the black gun manufacturing companies? How to, so you got to go all the way back if you want to solve a problem. Like if you want to uproot something, you have to go to the root. So what's the root of this? So yeah, I salute Meek Mill for dealing with this. This could be a whole 2-hour lecture right here, but I do salute Meek Mill for even using this platform, to address, what's going on, in Chicago. And yeah, I'm gonna withhold my judgment of Black Lives Matter at this point in time. It is what it is with them, but definitely something needs to. But number one, it needs to be addressed. But number two, economic castration will be number one. So if you want people to stop killing, put the trade programs back into school and some job opportunities, and that'll That'll solve the problem ultimately. You know, think about it. If somebody, a guy who's had opportunity, I'm real opportunity. That's why this goes deep. I ain't talking about just saying. I'm talking about showing him an opportunity, like really that he can walk into. Not just saying you have an opportunity, or showing him, you know, something that he could go and make a living for himself. I guarantee you, this will stop. But we can go into that another time, though. Shout out to Meek. You know what I mean? Meek Mill urges Black Lives Matter to address gun violence in Chicago. So peace to Meek and peace to rest in peace to this young lady here and the other children that were injured from a stray bullet. This story comes by way of Hip Hop DX. This is your brother Old Guy in the Black Hip Hop News, man. Reporting the real. Salute Meek. We out of here, man. Hey, hit that subscribe button, comment what y'all think about this, and share the video. Peace.